Yesterday, President Trump invoked the Defense Production Act to require meat processing facilities to stay open to maintain our food supply chain. Last weekend, I joined the governors of Maryland and Delaware in sending a letter to President Trump asking for federal help in coordinating our approach to rising numbers of cases in our poultry facilities. The CDC has responded, deploying teams to each of our 3 states to work with our health officials. This team arrived on Virginia's Eastern Shore yesterday. They met this morning with local health and worker safety teams. They're beginning to assess the plants and ensure that they are operating consistent with safety guidelines that the CDC issued Sunday in response to the request from me and the governors of Maryland and Delaware. These guidelines describe how plants should reconfigure their spaces so that workers are able to be separated and protected from each other. I appreciate that guidance. I want to be clear that my #1 concern here is our workers. Every one of them is a human being whose health deserves our protection. The majority of these workers have low incomes and are from communities of color. These factors place them at a higher risk. I am very concerned for them. We took important steps this year to help workers like these. We raised the minimum wage in Virginia. We passed legislation to allow people who are not yet citizens to have driver's licenses. And we are working to make sure the expansion of Medicaid helps as many Virginians get access to health care as possible. I grew up on Virginia's Eastern Shore, and I know how important these industries are. I fully understand the importance of meat processing facilities on our food chain and on Virginia's agriculture economy. And I thank the hardworking farmers, processing employees, truck drivers, grocery store workers, and all other members of this complex supply chain for their work to ensure that all of us continue to have safe, nutritious food during the midst of this health crisis. But I also want to be clear that this depends on workers who are healthy and who are safe. If we declare that workers at meat processing plants are essential, then it is imperative that we continue to support their health and well-being. I was on a call earlier today with Agriculture Secretary Sonny Perdue to raise this very issue. I sincerely hope that with this executive order, the President is signaling that the federal government will play a much larger role in keeping the employees of these meat processing plants safe and provide federal support to ensure every worker has protection, including adequate PPE. I'm also instructing Virginia's Department of Health and Department of Labor and Industry to work with the plants to ensure they implement the CDC guidelines to protect our workers. They will work with the U.S. Department of Agriculture, along with the CDC, OSHA, and the FDA, as well as state and local officials, to affirm that facilities are following CDC and OSHA guidance. We should know more about the situation in Virginia's poultry plants in the next few days, as our team and the CDC team works together to fully assess what is going on in the plants. We fully expect that all employees in these food processing plants will be tested, and that those who need medical care have adequate access and a safe place to go if they need to be isolated. Then we'll have a much clearer idea of the needs of those facilities and what our next steps should be. Accomack County has 229 positive confirmed cases as of this morning. So time is of the essence to stop the spread and protect our workers.